Many thanks to the Extraction Squad, Clash from the servers, Sgt. Pepper servers, Sea of Doors Cloud, Dallas, the Struggle Community, the Karma Crew servers, Dots, Designful, and Friendly a DayZ podcast for making this video possible. DayZ Badlands is shaping up to be one of the most ambitious updates that we've ever seen for the game, and all the excitement of accidentally gone ahead and dissected every single pixel of every single frame in the teasers, revealing a huge amount more details about Badlands, the terrain, the infrastructure, points of interest, and its general layout, to the point where I've literally drawn a map that gives us a good idea of what to expect when it comes to the Badlands map. The DayZ Badlands Steam page gives us a lot more insight and videos into what we can expect from Nara, with confirmation that this will be a fully inland territory which was used by global superpowers such as the British, NATO, US and Soviet forces, with crumbling Soviet-era military bases around the map, further confirmed by the military structures, tents and canopies that we can find in the asset images. From this teaser, we can see that there's going to be hangar buildings and airfield assets, implying that there's going to be at least one airfield on this map and certainly a large military base. This military base could be at or near the confirmed border checkpoint that this map will have, which is said to be on the confirmed highway across this map that will run straight through the map horizontally and is said to be a quick way to get across the map from west to east or east to west. Now, based on the map image we were given and how Nara is based in the west of Takistan on the borderline with Ardistan, this large border checkpoint would only make sense in one of these areas across this line, and it would make most sense near this river. I say this because rivers tend to have a consistent height along their river banks, so a road following a river is good road design and therefore map design, and logistically it's good for towns and villages because towns and villages are near rivers, especially in mountainous and sandy regions that are hard to build on, such as these. Whether there are dips in the riverbank or there's bridges needed for this road to be straight over the rivers, these bridge assets down here can be used, and because all large roads lead to cities, we can expect this road will span from the border checkpoint in the west to the capital city in the lower corner, and then it's going to veer off across the river to the east side of the map somewhere, as the devs did say that this road will connect west to east, which was purpose built, by the way, to connect Chernobyl to the rest of the world. Due to the age of this highway and the outbreak plus the wars, there will be many obstacles on this, maybe holes in the floor, makeshift checkpoints and certainly abandoned vehicles, but because the devs said it's an easy way to get across the map, I doubt we will see a huge amount of obstacles, and we most likely won't see downed bridges or inaccessible parts at all. This looks to be the case with all other roads on the map which will connect villages and towns together. As seen in these images, there's loads of different roads in there, so it should play a lot like Chernobyl in this regard, with the devs stating that Nara is intended to play like Chernobyl, and that the villages, towns and other points of interest will be no more than 2 kilometers away from the next. This is further evidenced by the teasers showing that there's many locations near each other. You can see that there's loads of villages here and towns, they're all connecting with roads, dispelling the myth that this map will mostly be empty. This is great news because based on the heat map data I've been collecting over the last few months, the most popular locations on Sakau and Livonia are not balanced at all across the map, yet on Chernobyl the whole map is being utilised by players, so copying Chernobyl should address the loop progression issues that we had on Sakau. On top of this, the devs have said that the map will be a lot more varied, from arid deserts and mountains to lush springtime lowlands and verdant valleys, and even specified that the east part of the map is where the deserts and mountains will be. This aligns with how the northern river that curves down here curves south very dramatically at this point, likely meaning that the northeast of the map will be extremely elevated or mountainous, with some very flat and open deserts in this region too, as seen from the Steam page video here, and is probably where the oil fields based on the first teaser we saw are going to be. Heading west from this location is where I strongly believe there's going to be a new dam structure up in this lake here. This dam is monstrous in size, so it makes sense that it's going to be designed to hold back a giant lake like this, but given that it's been heavily damaged, I doubt we'll receive flowing water or powered infrastructure here. Instead, we'll have a disrepaired and abandoned dam that's going to be difficult or impossible to cross by vehicle with this destruction at the top, with a new generator building in the valley below the dam, as you can see from these assets with the pipes. After a dam, you've usually got a massive valley, and depending on how far this valley goes down the river, you can expect a tall suspension bridge to span across that valley, as 2 suspension bridge support towers are seen in the assets area, but one of them is destroyed, so it's not clear if this bridge will be usable or not. I'm also expecting power lines to run from the generator building at the dam, as that makes sense, down to the capital city, as that makes a lot of sense, which is actually called Nara. The capital city is called Nara, where the map is repeatedly called Nara Province by the devs, and Nara is explained in Arma lore as the closest settlement, not region, to the Arma PMC DLC map, which is called Proving Grounds. The Proving Grounds DLC trailer showed terrain, vegetation and buildings that's eerily similar to that we see in the Badlands teasers, and is said to be west of Nara, which is the capital city, but it's also very close to the Ardistan-Takistan border, which means it's in this area here. Now what's interesting is that a car is seen in this trailer going from Proving Grounds, which is this location here, to Zagabad, located here. What's crazy is that when it's driving, before it reaches Zagabad, it crosses a dam that looks very similar to the dam asset we see here, which could just be a massive coincidence, but I wouldn't be surprised if the devs are searching far and wide for inspiration for this map. If they are taking inspiration from Proving Grounds, which is the closest map to Nara in the Arma lore if you didn't know, it could mean that there's going to be a huge crater in the center of the map between these rivers somewhere. This giant hole in Proving Grounds was caused by a dictator at the time testing nuclear weapons underground, with this test being larger than expected, and it breached the surface and formed this crater. This detonation was detected by Europeans as a damn nuke, and it led to sanctions and eventually an invasion by Western forces who toppled the dictatorship to stop these tests from going on in the future. This is evidenced by the giant head that's found in the asset images here. Now that you've seen this head, you cannot unsee it, and it could be the only remaining part of the dictator's statue after the intervention, with this giant foundation here being where it used to stand, and only its dismembered head remains on the floor. If this is the case, Proving Grounds also had an underground nuclear facility called OKB-754. This was not enterable, but it hints at a lab and underground area being possible in this map. There's also two giant crossed swords in these assets here, which may have been the hands of the giant statue, but it's more likely to be a separate monument on the ground, probably near the capital city of Nara. In this city, we can also expect variations of high-rise building assets. You can see different variations here. We didn't see these in the teasers, along with many apartment buildings like these around the city's centre. This city and urban areas in general on this map will be brutal for PvP, given the huge amount of elevation tactics that can be used on these buildings. It appears that there's so many different windows, blown out walls, and nearly every structure allows you to climb on each of the floors. This includes these two towers, which on Takistan are both enterable and allows a 360 overlook onto the rooftops of the towns that you're in, such as in this teaser here, which is important because all these roofs appear to have connection between them. You can traverse across them on makeshift ramps, making PvP in towns incredibly satisfying with the many different strategies you can use to outflank, reposition, or simply get the high ground on someone, with alleyways, as you can see from this shot, being pure deathmatch. Now, because towns and villages will likely have these rebuildable wells and confirmed fountains that you can drink from, as seen in this new teaser on Steam, this makes towns and villages the perfect ambush location, and therefore the PvP centers of the map, with guerrilla-like warfare being a common occurrence, I can imagine, because of the many places that you can ambush players from, making each one of these towns and villages like a little arena of its own, probably resulting in some great PvP-ness. In summary, for the layout of Nara then, this looks like a good start with many cool points of interest being spread throughout the map, but do bear in mind this is mostly speculation on top of ideas that the devs have that might be scrapped entirely. While we wait for that gameplay, the next patch 1.29 is confirmed to have this terrain blending tech in it, and the devs have said that they've applied it to all of the maps in the update, so Chernobyl and Livonia will be getting this too. For now, what is your take on all this? Do you have any theories on what could be on the Badlands map? Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.